Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a good day. So we are going to continue the project management session on defining the project. Partly for this session, the learning outcomes or the learning objectives means that what you should be able to know at the end of the lecture is to recognize the importance of a complete scope statement, the acceptable to your customer as a condition for project success, and to lay out guidelines for creating a work breakdown structure, WBS, and to demonstrate the importance of WBS to the management of projects and how it serves as a database for planning and control. Basically, number 2 is more critical. You need to understand what is WBS, how to understand this WBS, because you're going to use this kind of information in your project later on. So we have 5 steps in defining a project. You need to know this. You need to understand each element, especially the step 1, defining the project, establishing the project priorities, and I would say the most important part is to creating the WBS, the work breakdown structure. Step 4, integrating. Okay, this is also important for you to know how you can coordinate or integrate WBS with organization. And step 5 is to code the WBS for the information system. Actually, it's not the C language or things, but it's just the writing style of the WBS. We are going to look in this session. So defining the project. What is the scope of the project? I believe all of you are well understand this kind of thing. Scope. For every project, you are going to have your scope, your working scope. Like take your final year project, your PSM as an example. You have your title, and of course, you're going to have a part, the section named scope. What is scope? Scope is a boundary of your research, of your work. So you set, so this is what I'm going to do, and this is what I'm not going to do. You're going to explain. So later on, you know that this is that you need to achieve. So what's the definition? A definition, project scope is a definition of the end result. Okay? It's a definition of end result or mission of the project. So a project can be a product or service for the client or customer in specific, that tangible. You could see, is visible, tangible and measurable in terms. So what the purpose of the scope statement? Why you need to define the project scope first when you want to plan the scope, the project itself? Because you want to clearly understand or define the deliverables. What are the output for the end user that we need to order? I mean, if you order in the restaurant, if you go and order the food and also the drink, so the waiter know that he or his team need to get back to you the drink that you order and also the food. It's clear, okay? So it's no point you order food and drink, but suddenly he came and gave you cookies. Although it's a food as well, but maybe you order the rice. Okay, so you need to know clearly, okay, clearly what are the output that you need to produce. So if it's a building a house, you know the output is the house, the functional house. It's not a prototype. If you know that you need to submit innovative machines for cutting the grass, okay, so it should be an innovated machine that can cut the grass. It's not a maybe it's not a calculator. Different things you should know what, and it can't be a different type of traditional cutting grass machine, because you know it's the scope statement said you agree that it's an innovated cutting grass machine. That's an example. So you clearly define the deliverables for the end user. and to focus the project on successful completion of its goal. So we know, once you know the scope, you know the direction, you can just focus on the working on the project. And the scope statement also can be used by the project owner and other participants as a planning tool and for measuring project success. So we can revisit the project scope to see what's the things they agreed. Okay, so they can check whether you are moving towards the direction or you are moving towards the opposite direction. So it can be used as a planning tool and sometimes can be used as a checklist as well. So here is the project scope. Okay, the project scope. What are the terms and definitions? We are going to cover later on. Here is the project scope. We have 6 scope. Okay, we have the project objective, deliverables, the output, milestone, the timeline, when to start, when to finish, when to submit, when to have a holiday, okay, and all the technical requirement, okay, limits and exclusion, what you're going to cover and what you're not going to cover, and then also the reviews with customer. Okay, all the evidence need to be gathered. So as I said just now, this is the scope statements, project charter, scope creep. Okay, so you can read this. Basically, it's going to give you just terms and definition. We are discussing on scope statement, right? So please be informed that scope statement also known as SOW, statements of work. So if someone said, what's your statements of work for your project? So that's the scope. Okay, that's the scope. What is project charter? Okay, project charter can contain an expanded version of scope statement. Okay, it's like a detailed part or more detailed than brief scope. So it's a project charter. What is scope creep? Scope creep is a definition they use when you have some initial project scope that you have agreed, but later on is expanded over time due to certain circumstances, like changing requirements, specification, and other priorities. Okay, for whatever reason, if you need to change your scope with mutual agreement with the client, customer, and all the stakeholders, we call it scope creep. So this is just the the definition. So the step 2 is establishing project priorities. Here, we need to identify, okay, things that can give problem or can be a major trade-off for the project. Usually is shift in the criteria that are related to either cost, time, and performance parameter. Okay, in the project, we have the limitation of the budget sometimes. Time, you need to submit in this kind of time, in this period of time. And you have a performance parameter, okay? You have a problem with the labor, materials, raw material, whatever it is. So these things, sometimes you need to focus. So which one? So prioritizing the element, either cost, time, or performance parameter, we call this as establishing the project priority. Which one you need to focus? Maybe let's say you have a money, your client have a money, an unlimited budget. Okay, so in that case, okay, so this is no more a problem, but you have a very tight time. Okay, so you need to have a very good performance scope and people to work. So you know, in this, so in that situation, you need to sacrifice your time. Maybe you need to work 24 hours, your team. Okay, so that's how you plan. So basically, you establish the project priorities. Which one that you need to work on. Or let's say nowadays, okay, it's a pandemic time, COVID. So people don't have money. So so maybe you need to sacrifice the cost. You give a very reasonable cost that you need to have some profit, right? But it's not, the margin is very very low. But maybe the time, if they ask you to complete the project in 6 months, maybe because of the costing, so you also need people to work, so you can deal with them. Okay, so we can't submit in 6 months. If it's 6 months, maybe we need 2 or 3 months additional months. So you need to sacrifice the budget in the pandemic time, okay, here, but you have more time. So that's how. If you don't have any limitation, then it's fine. It's fine. But usually, of course, in a project, we are going to have something that we need to sacrifice, something that we are okay to go further. Okay. So how to managing the priorities is usually they have your constraint. Okay. It's like a constraint means a parameter that is fixed. Okay. The example just now, the budget, we have unlimited budget. So it's set, so you don't have any constraint. Then it's fixed. Or here, budget is problem. So you know that budget is the constraint. Enhance, okay, is optimizing a criterion over others. Means that you know budget is fixed. So now which one that you can optimize? Like in the example in the second scenario here just now, we talk about time. We need more time. Okay. And then accept, reducing or not meeting criterion. Either we need to other criteria, so the performance, scope. Is there anything that we need to minus? We say we can't do this, but we can change it to this. Okay. So this is how the three how you manage the priorities. Okay. So basically the you have your scope, you have your cost, and then your time. It's going to give impact to the quality of the project. So if you want a very good quality, so you have a very refined scope, good time, and of course very good budget. So you can do a table like this to see the visibility of the priority in terms of metrics. Okay, so you have your time, performance, cost. So what's the constraint? So maybe you can map here. Maybe in your case you can have a more elaboration as well. It's up to you. Enhance the time and you accept the cost. Okay, so the performance is the constraint. So this is one of the examples. So that's the project priority matrix. Okay. So the step 3, once you identify the priority, okay, you know which one that you accept, which one that you need to sacrifice, then you are done on agreement, then you're going to start to creating the work breakdown structure. So basically, what is WBS? This is very important. You need to understand. If you're a manufacturing student, you should be familiar with bill of material. It's a list of the products or materials or components in one particular product. Okay, so you break down everything, you know. This is all the parameters or all the elements or all the components for that specific products. So somehow it's similar. We're going to see the example. Okay, so you can read this by your own, I believe. Work breakdown structure, WBS, is basically a hierarchical outline. Okay, so like a map that identifies the product and also work elements involved in the project. Okay, defines the relationship of the final deliverable, okay, to its sub-deliverable, and in turn their relationship to work packages. We're going to see what is these work packages, and it's best suited for design and build projects. So this WBS usually is suited for the design and also the build project. They have a tangible outcome rather than process. Means that if it's a building, if it's a laptop, it's a product that you can see is easier, it's best suited for the design because you can break down the components. But if it's a process, it'll be tricky. So this is the level. You have the project. You name it. You name. Okay. Start from the top here. Level 1 is the name of the project. The complete project. What is that? Maybe manufacturing a car. Okay. So car is be the project. If house, then house will be the project. If it's a bicycle, so project will be bicycle will be the project. So what's the second level? Is the deliverable. What are the major deliverables? So what are the main component in the, let's say, bicycle? Okay, let's say bicycle. Okay, what are the major deliverables in the bicycle? So you break down the component. Okay, the main component. You may have the seat, you may have the handle, you may have the main frame. What else? You may have the brake system, you may have the carrier, you may have the tire. Okay, so and the list is going to expand until it's a complete, you know, the deliverables. What are the sub deliverables? The level 3, the supporting deliverable means that you break down. If you can break it down more, like braking system. What else? The braking system go down. So you may have component A, component B. Okay, you have a carrier. Maybe it goes down to the main carrier, like screws, nuts, whatever it is. Okay, main frame. What else? Okay, and the lowest sub deliverable means that is there anything else that you can break it down? Yes, here. So it goes down. You have to. Okay, and then cost account. So we can map the costing for each of the lowest subdeliverables, and you have work package. We're going to see another example in detail in the coming slides. Okay, but I hope you understand till here. We have a hierarchical breakdown structure here. Okay, we have about 5 levels. Okay, with the work package is the lowest. Sorry, actually it's additional, it's lowest here. But in the main, we have project, deliverable, sub-deliverable, and lower sub-deliverable. The example is like this, basically how we break down the structure. So how WBS help the project manager? Facilitate the evaluation of cost, time, technical performance, because you have a detailed breakdown of the structure. So you can estimate at a very small quantity of the element, you can estimate the cost, the time to manufacture. If you're going to buy, the time to buy, and technical performance. So it also provides management with information that appropriate to each organizational level. We're going to see this later on. And helps in development of the organization breakdown, OBS. Okay, so easy to assign who is going to do what. The project, who are going to do the handle, who are going to manufacture the seat, who are going to purchase the main body, who are going to do the test, you know. So it's help to plan, manage the plan, schedule, and budget, and it defines communication channels, assist in coordinating the various project demand. So this is the most important part, I hope. So this is the example of the work breakdown structure. So this is personal computer prototype. So what is this? Number 1, what is this? We said just now. Anyone? Just go back to the slides if you don't get it. It's a project. So this is the project. This is the project. So their project is to develop or to manufacture personal computer prototype. So what's the second level? The deliverables or output. So they break down vendor, software application, mouse, keyboard, disk storage unit, macros processor unit, and more items to go. You know, you need to really break down the the complete structure. So just go more. If you have more, then go more for your products in your scenario. So what's the third? Sub-deliverables. So if the product couldn't be break down further, so you just stop there. You just stop there. Okay, maybe they just are going to buy it or whatever it is. But if you can break it down, so break it down like this. So here, the level 3 is floppy, optical disk, hard disk. Okay, the same thing here, the microprocessor, you can break it down to internal memory and also to the BIOS. Okay, at the level 4. Okay, so the hard disk can be further to be broken down here for motor, circuit board, chassis frame, and also the read-write head. And internal memory as well, you can break it down to ROM, RAM, okay, ROM, RAM, and IO file utilities and blah blah blah. So here they stop here, so you can't break it down further. So this is the 4 levels, and the 5 is the lowest manageable subdeliverable is this. This is what we call work packages. Means that in Moto, they have one component of work one Moto. Circuit board, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 kind of circuit board. So they break it down into all of them. So 7. Chassis, they have 3 chassis frame. Read-write head, they have 5. So they break it down to the smallest level, but there's no arrow, but just a description that okay, WP work package 1 is circuit board, work package 2, the circuit board number 2 is thing like that. So this we call it work package. This is the smallest element in the WBS, in the work breakdown structure. So I hope this example is clear for you. So this is the explanation of the work packages just now. The smallest element is the lowest level of WBS. Okay, so it is output oriented. Okay, what to do, how long, the cost, how much, and also the milestone. You can plan based on that, the lowest information that we have. Okay, step 4 is integrating the WBS with the organization. What they mean here? Okay, so OBS is Organizational Breakdown Structure. What is OBS? It's more to the people and their position, or we can say in simple word is actually organizational chart. Okay, organizational. Okay, it's okay. Organizational chart. So what you're going to have in this organizational chart, you're going to have your team members. Okay, you're going to have your who's going to do what their position, and things like this. So basically, we are going to match the position with the work that we have identified in the WBS. I'm going to show the example. Okay. Okay, this is the example. So this is the what we have saw just now, the WBS until this, and also until this, right? Okay, and now I'm going to integrate the OBS. So now this is the OBS, and here is the WBS. So we link them, integrate them, okay? And here is the cost account information. So how this works? So in your organization, this is just an example, okay? It can have a different information based on the organization. Let's say in organization you have your manufacturing team. Okay, in manufacturing team they have the design department and production department. In your organization also they have a testing department. You have your purchasing department and your software development department. Okay, so based on the smallest sub-delivery, the lowest manageable sub-deliverables, we have motor, circuit board, chassis frame, and also the read-write head. So let's say for the motor, okay, what's the cost account information? They put it here in this box, which is related to the purchasing. What they meant here, this organization are going to order the motor, going to buy. So why they put the cost account is purchasing. So the purchasing department will deal with this component. They're going to buy, of course. How about the circuit board? They lock the design, they lock the production, the cost account, the cost involving, okay, the department of testing and also the department of software development. What do you mean here? They're going to buy? No. Based on the information that we have here, the cost account means that this company, this organization is going to manufacture themselves. Because they start with the designing of this circuit board, they produce, they test, and also they have some software application or software development that related to this circuit. Okay, so this is how. So we know that, and they know this department is going to, the manufacturing department is going to work on the design, also the production, the testing will be done after that, and then the software department will be going to communicate with them to embed the software things. How about the chassis? Production means that they're going to produce in the company. Maybe this is not a new product for them. They already have the design and things, so they're just going to produce. How about the read and also read and write head test? Okay, and they also have here design. They also have here actually the box here. Okay, which is later on they zoom it, they show it to you. Okay, so it means that they are going to manufacture internally in the company. They manufacture, they produce, and also they test. And they got the company. So what's the detail here? Work package 1. So they have three quantity of the read and write head. So this is the information. How long it will take, okay, the time, and also the budget. So for you to understand, we are not going to ask you to draw all of these things in detail, but it's good that you know that this is WBS, this is OBS, how we integrate based on the OBS, and we identify the cost account and who's going to responsible. So this is step 4. And the last step, I believe, is coding the WBS for the information system. So actually, it's not a C language. Don't be worried. Okay, coding system means we are going to write them in a good numbering system that reflect to the WBS. Basically, considering the levels, also the organizational elements. Of course, you have your budget and cost information and work packages too. Just go to the example. Okay, this is the example of the coding for the WBS computer project that we saw the example just now. Okay, they have their computer project 1. What's the breakdown? 1.1 disk storage unit. Is there any breakdown there? Yes, 1.11, 1.1.1 external USB, 1.1.2 optical, 1.1.3 hard disk. So you break down based on the numbering system until you complete it. Basically, you need to understand that this coding, okay, that you see here, this one, okay, all of these are exactly the same as this. Okay, here is in illustration form, okay, in the WBS illustration breakdown form, but the coding is just the numbering. Let's say here is 1.0, so this one's going to be 1.1. The example given 1.1. I don't know why they start from here. Okay, or maybe because this one is the longest breakdown. Whatever it is, let's say this is 1.2, this is 1.3, this is 1.4. Okay, and then we don't have any continuous breakdown here. We don't have here, but here 1.1. So this is going to be 1.1.1, 1.1.2, 1.1.3. Okay, so this one goes down here, break down again. So this is going to be 1.1.3.1. So this is how it works. This is, we call it coding just now. So you did for all, for the complete coding system. So I hope you understand. Okay, so this is how we got this. So I hope you understand this. Okay, so you're going to, because in your assignment you're going to have both illustration and also the coding system to be developed. Okay, and then we continue the session. I'm going to introduce the responsibility matrix. Okay, You can read here. It's actually a linear responsibility chart. It summarizes the tasks to be accomplished and identify who is responsible for the project. Basically, you're going to have a list of project activities and list of participants, and you match between them. So we know who are going to do what. Okay, so everyone understand what are their responsibilities and agree on the assignment. Okay, so basically we plan, okay, a responsibility metric, and this is the example for market research project. Actually, this is just an example. Basically, there's no fixed template.